Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here and welcome to Forza Motorsport 7. Now in this Forza Motorsport 7 video, the gameplay itself is going to be me drifting the BRZ with a V8 swap. I mean, there's nothing too crazy about that. It is a wide-body BRZ with a V8 swap like a lot of other wide-body drift BRZs. But the main things that I wanted to talk about here involve what went on in the latest Inside Xbox live stream where Forza 7 was mentioned and talked about, and a lot of interesting things ended up being gone over. Like, for example, they are working on some of the things they are working on, it's like freaking crazy. And I'll just get the main thing out of the way first, and that is improvements to drifting and improvements to drift customization specifically, including angle kits. Dude, freaking steering angle kits have been something that had been asked for in Forza for so many years. It is insane, and they are finally doing it. I never thought they would do it, but they are finally freaking doing it, and it is blowing my mind. It is absolutely blowing my mind that they would do it, and I know that that's the main thing that I want to talk about. Trust me, there's a lot more to talk about, but I wanted to get that out of the way, like, right out of the gate. They said on the stream that they were also going to be making some changes to the scoring system, which I'm very excited to see, because I don't know if that means they're actually going to be making changes to how the points rack up, or if that means that they're going to be adding some sort of multiplier system based on combos, or if that also means, which it could mean, that they're going to maybe add a little bit more freedom to people that want to do like backwards entries and stuff like that. Now, I still think that hitting a wall too hard should get rid of your points, but if you just do a little bit of a wall tap, maybe even if it's in a designated zone, like you have an actual clipping point to hit, that could be like a massive extra multiplier. Now, some people may be thinking that this could add some unnecessary complications to the scoring system as it is, because right now it's a very simple scoring system. It has been for years, and it's a scoring system that people understand. It's a scoring system that people know, and not necessarily, I wouldn't go so far as to say a scoring system that people love, but it's a scoring system that we all know how to use, right? If you've been playing Forza for years, you know how this scoring system works, you know how to use it, and it's very simple for somebody that's starting to drift. You can get into it very quickly and figure out, oh, as long as I stay on the track, keep my drifts, you know, below a certain angle, I'll be able to keep this score and I'll be able to rack up points, and you'll know that you can go faster, get a little bit more points, you can get a little bit more angle, get a little bit more points, and you kind of learn where the limit is to play with. But at the same time, you know that if you overstep that limit, then you're not going to be getting much more of a score, and you're going to be losing it. So the system right now, like I said, is very simple to use, and it's very easy to understand as it is, but I'll be excited to see what they mean when they say they'll be making changes to the scoring system, because I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them making changes to the scoring system as long as they don't kind of muddle it up, as long as they don't make it all muddy and add a million different kinds of multipliers and stuff like that to it, which I don't think they would do, but at the same time, I gotta put that out there and say that I really hope that they keep it overall a very simple scoring system, because right now that's the beauty of it. The beauty of it is that it is so simple, and I think with it being with it having kind of that beauty in simplicity, that makes it more enjoyable to use, because then you're not so concerned about what the actual scoring system is going to do, and you're just focusing on getting out there and driving the car hard and pushing your limits, pushing the car's limits, and really getting in tune with everything that you're doing, rather than having to glance at a scoring system all the time and think about, oh, did I do this multiplier? Did I get this multiplier? How can I maximize my score? Did I do this and that, this and that, this and that, this and that? But I think personally that if you're going to learn how to drift, you should learn without the points on anyway. And I think that's a good point. Is that learning how to drift in Forza, just like learning how to drift in real life, if you go out and learn how to drift in real life, first thing you need to do is learn how to control the car. You're not going to go out and learn, you know, Formula D clipping points the first time you start drifting. You're going to go out and you're going to learn how to get a car sideways and then hold it and then recover it. And that's the first thing you're going to learn. Well, really, the first thing a lot of people learn is how to do donuts around a cone. But again, that's that learning to get a car sideways and then controlling it and then recovering it. So really, like I said, I think learning how to drift in Forza should be exactly the same. It should be a process of keeping your car in line, and then once you know how to do that, then you can start messing around with points. Then you can start messing around with actually practicing a lot of different techniques. Then you can start to build your skill. Now, moving on to the next point, which I did want to cover, is time attack. Now, if you did not play time attack mode back in Forza Motorsport 6, basically it's a very simple concept, and what it is, when you boil it down, is leaderboards for literally everything. So if you were to say for example, you wanted to have the fastest BRZ at, oh gosh, name a track. Like, you wanted to have the fastest BRZ at Alps Reverse, right? For example, just use that as an example, right? And that can apply to literally any layout on any course, right? So you could set out to build a car for that specific leaderboard and just go after it and go after it and go after it. And it's a very simple feature, but I personally think it's one of the best features because what comes out of Time Attack is some really, 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 really well set up cars. Some really well set up cars, some really well made tunes, and some people that have put some insane time and effort into building those cars. And I remember that was something that I spent a lot of time in, was Time Attack, and I cannot wait to see that back. I mean, that is going to be one of the coolest things to come into the series in a long time. Now, they've also said that they are working on the multiplayer in the way that they're working on something called a race regulation system, which a race regulation system, and at least what I've been able to gather about it, is basically they're working on basically tactics to try to eliminate the griefing from people like driving backwards or, say, for example, just dive bombing and things like that. And I get it. You know, you can only it's very hard to regulate something like that. It's very, very hard because what's the difference between somebody that's going to dive bomb you and then somebody that's it's an actual accident? So that is very hard to pinpoint, and I respect the fact that they are trying to dive into that and figure it out. The biggest thing for me is that as long as it's like, that's great and all, as long as they don't dumb down the racing because of it, which I don't think they would ever do. I don't think they would ever do that, so I don't think we're in any danger of that. But I just wanted to put that out there and say that because the way that you would normally, you know, fix something like that is to, well, not necessarily normally, but I think a lot of people would be concerned that, like, oh, well, if we, you know, try to give people too many, you know, if we try to put in too many little things here and there to try to regulate races, then that will kind of take some of the flow out of the race. And to a certain degree, I agree with you, but on another note, it's also kind of something that has to be done because, I mean, I'm sure we've all been in that multiplayer lobby on that last lap that, you know, we had someone plow into us and throw us off the track and go all the way to the back of the pack. And at that point, you know, what do? You know, it's like at that point, for some people, you just go, oh, well, whatever, I'm going to start a new race. For other people, that's like their evening on Forza is like done after that. And it just depends on your personality, but I think that that's an important thing to address. It's always an important thing to address. And, you know, accidents in online racing, accidents are going to happen. Yeah, that's fine. Accidents do happen. But there's a difference between accidents that happen and people that intentionally bring a Hummer into a lobby, for example, and it doesn't even matter what car. Bring whatever car into a lobby and just flat out demolish people. Just straight up demolish people. So that's completely different. Now, another thing that is extremely exciting to me that I really want to talk about is drag racing and everything that they're bringing to that. Now, in the coming months, they haven't said exactly when, but in the coming months, we are going to gain access to something called experimental drag. Now, experimental drag, what they're basically doing is trying to test out a system where instead of doing your drag lap, basically, or drag pass, really, and then having to go all the way back through the scoring and the menus and all of that kind of stuff, the second you're done with your pass, it just starts straight up right back over again. And you can finish whenever you want, which I think is an awesome way to do it, because if you're drag racing, you don't want to have to load back all the way through these menu screens to get, like, say, for example, you don't want to have to load back all the way through a bunch of different menu screens, you know, just to do another 10, 12-second pass. And I think it's really important because a lot of drag racers are going to be a big fan of this. Now, also, though, keep in mind that when this is, they have said that when this when the community gains access to this, it will not be multiplayer. It will be part of free play in single player. However, they have said that they do have plans for it further down the road, and this is more of a test to see how it goes over, which I respect that fact. I respect the fact that they're willing to go into these realms and go a little bit deeper to see what the community is actually really looking for, and taking that feedback and going, oh, well, guess what? We can do that. They have features in this new drag mode like warming up your tires, doing a burnout before you actually race. I mean, that's so cool that they're actually willing to go in and do that. And I personally think that even though I'm not a drag racer, I'll definitely spend some time in this mode, and also, of course, show it to you guys and film it for you guys and let you guys see what it looks like, and also give you guys some tips to how to better get down the track in this new drag mode. But yeah, there's a lot of different things that are coming into Forza Motorsport 7 very, very soon that I am very, very excited about, and I cannot wait to see how these transform the game. Mainly the drift features, but also the drag features and the time attack. That time attack is going to be freaking awesome. Now, there were a couple of other things that they discussed in the Inside Xbox live stream, and one of those being the new system where they will tell you exactly where the limits are for a clean or dirty lap. Now, this is going to be really cool for a lot of circuit people because it will show you literally how far you can push the limits of the track. And I personally think that's awesome because then you can actually see there's no more guesswork. You can learn exactly where you can place your car within the limits of the track. So that is going to be a really, really cool feature, and all of these other features are going to be awesome as well. I cannot wait to see where all of this goes, and I am pumped. I am so freaking excited, especially with E3 just around the corner, and hopefully we get to see something from the next Forza Horizon game very, very soon as well. So we're going to have tons of stuff coming from that, tons of stuff coming from Forza Motorsport, and what better time to be a massive fan of the Forza series in general. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to follow the channel, and make sure you have notifications on for daily Forza, spin tires, GTA, all of that stuff right here. I'll see y'all later. Talk to you guys next time.